Hello guys, today we'll be looking at what minimum knowledge of Docker we should have to get started with any Docker project, any project using Docker. So basically my you will be having project, and in that project you will see two files in common. So it will be Docker compose file and a Docker file. So Docker file is used to create images, and Docker Compose file is used to run multiple containers. We will check what container and what image means. So Docker image means uh, it is like a bundle of source code, the packages or dependencies, or and the environment we will be using for the image. Okay, so that is Docker image. We can call it as a package as well. In simple word, we can call it as package. And container is like the running package or running image. What we call that as a process, right? So in simple word, image is package and container is process. Got it? So what Docker compose file will. So to create image, we will be using Docker file, and in this Docker file, we will be mentioning all that steps to create that Docker image. So to do that, what we will first need to like what environment it will be using. So basically, it is Ubuntu or Linux kind of thing, right? And yeah, it will be having Node environment like that. It will be also what files we need to use from this the source code, right? So we need to copy paste that with this with those commands. So that is Docker file, and within Docker compose file, let's say your project may contain may have dependencies on many applications like the Kafka, Redis, MongoDB, right? So you don't want to install those, and you want to use the Docker images of that. So if you decided to means put those image and run one by one, so there will be so you need there is manual effort and there is no structured way in that, right? But with the help of Docker Compose, it is a structured way of running containers with a single command. And in this compose file you will be having all the configuration set, right? The means which environment sorry which environment variables this is using. So you can just copy paste this file or just commit this file. Any other developer who is also contributing on this project will be using the same configuration. And like just say one of my project we are using Redis, and then there can a requirement to use Redis JSON. So I have to like change the image to Redis tag. So and I committed that, and then inform other developers like you need to use this. So they were using the Redis tag. So this is a structured way of doing that. So uh, we need to mention all the services here, and with single command we will be able to run those containers, and with a single command we can kill all those containers. Okay, and let's say so let's come to my project. I will demo those things with my project only. So in my project I am using a database as a MongoDB, and it is a simple express app where I am like adding user to MongoDB. So that's it. Let's copy paste the MongoDB from our Docker Hub. So here they have provided the Docker Compose version of this. So let's just copy paste this here, and let's get rid of this. It is not needed version. Uh, is not needed in latest version of Docker Compose. So let's get rid of that. Here you can see this is called as service name. This is the image name. This is image name, right? And these are the environment variable this application need, this container need. These are the environment. So we can do that set environment with the help of environment keyword, right? As you can see also, this is a means if we provide this the hyphen, then it means it is a list, else it means the key value pair. So environment is a key value pair, so we are doing like this. And in the ports, uh, with it starts with hyphen, so it means that it is a list, so it can have multiple uh, things here. So yeah, that's it. Let's start with uh, running this project. Basically, there is another thing we are missing. We can see in this application, it is Mongo Express is exposing the port, and here there is no port, right? So uh, we need to find out the port mapping. We need to do port mapping. Port mapping is needed because if you look at how the structure is, so this is our local machine, and this is Docker running on our machine, means it is using our OS only, but it has isolated environment, and everything is we cannot access things from here directly. So this containers running inside this environment will need to expose things to us, and those things we can consume only. Okay, so to do that, here this image exposes 8081, and we are mapping that with our local 8081. So same thing we need to do with this. This exposes the standard port of MongoDB is 27017, right? 27017. So this port we need to 27017. So basically the prefix is our local, and the suffix is Docker container. So I will just add comment prefix as local, and then suffix as Docker container. Okay. So yeah, with this we can just run and use this Docker image or Docker container, uh, or connect with this Docker container from our local, and store data into that. So Docker compose of -d. With this single command, we are able to run this all the services registered here. We can have multiple services, right? In your project, you may be using Redis and Kafka and Menu or other Docker images. So you can list those, and with this command you can just spin up those. So see here. Okay, so the images are pulled, and they are started now. You can see those are started. We can say the mapping is also done. We can access these things on our local. So if I go into my local, say here, and refresh this, I'm able to access this on my locals. Okay, and I need to, let's say I need to start my application. So I will need to use this. So this local was 27017. The port expose here. So I need to use this port in my env. Okay. So let's start our application. npm run dev. It will be connected. Let's say other things. You can go into this, and you can check logs here. You will be able to see what is going wrong. You can check here. With inspect, you can see what mappings is there, what like port mapping. If you go here, we can see what port we have mapped, right? And this is the port they provided, and this is the port our port we binded. We can also check the volume mapping. So these are the volumes mapping. We will see what uh, this means. Yeah. So let's say, let's check our, so database is connected. As you can see, the database is connected, and let me call the API. It is this. We should be able to see Docker is present. Users connection is created, but there is no data. After calling this API, data is inserted into this. Perfect. But let's say if I just delete this docker compose up hyphen t, sorry, to delete we need to run docker compose down. With this command we will be like killing all the services or all the containers. Okay, so here we are now looking with the data persistence thing. So after killing those containers, and like again starting those containers, the data we inserted will be lost. Okay, so this data will be lost now. So to fix that thing we need to like let me refresh this thing. Database not found. Perfect. Right, pm run dev, database is connected. Let refresh. Okay, users, but there is no data. Correct. But let's say uh, if we do port volume mapping, with volume mapping we will be having the uh, data persistence. So we, at right side of the column we will be mapping whatever we got from this whatever exposed in the container, and we will be mapping that with our local. So let me map that with data. We should create this folder data, and we should create that folder and like let me clean existing things first. So we should create new folder always, or we should create this folder at our root and keep this away from our git. So it should be present in our git ignore, and we will be adding everything in this. And let me add this as inside MongoDB. So whenever we will be running this command docker compose up, so whenever this container runs it will just add data here and it will be persisted in our local. Okay, so whatever data here it will be copy pasted here. So let's run our containers now. You can see MongoDB is created and it is copy pasting the data here. Okay, perfect. uh, After is initially it takes some time. So yes, it is yet to be started. Express connection reviews, we are getting errors related to connection reviews. This will be null, so it will not be accessible for some time. We need to fix that thing as well. Workspace, the connection is set. Yes, let's replace this. Table, it's working. Okay. Let's restart our application. It is restarted. So you can see Docker here, and in Docker there is no data. Perfect. But if we just add this, the data will be added in here. Okay, data is added. Now just kill the application. just kill the containers, okay, with the command docker compose down. After killing this, earlier all the data was deleted, but now the containers are deleted, right? But if we just run docker compose up hyphen d, then now the data will be persisted, okay. It will take some time, okay. Till there is no connection. Okay, it looks fine now. Mhm. Is it to be started? We need to add health check. That is our next point. We will be doing that. So we don't face these issues. Like as I can say, our Docker, our doc, our Mongo Express is depend on this. So it should start only after. It should start only after this is successful. Okay. So that's why we are facing issues, but now we should be able to get it running and data is persisted. Okay, perfect. So data is persisted here. So let's fix that issue related to related to health check and depends on. So this Mongo Express is depend on Mongo. So we will be like adding health check and then adding the. So here copy paste health check is a way like to determine if this service is okay or not, it is running or not. So basically with calling db run command we can check it is running or not. Let's get rid of this. Our user is root, password is example, is mongo OT. Okay, let's add another configuration related to interval timeout and retries. So it will call this method 5 times with the interval of 30 seconds and we'll wait for 10 seconds to get the response. So yeah, if uh, if this is another service, maybe we can have curl or other commands. So this test command we can find in their documentation or somewhere else. So uh, basically, like for PostgreSQL, they have something like a ping command kind of things are there, nothing different. In some cases, we need to call the curl API, means, have the curl call here. So yeah, so as this thing is set here, and we have another thing related to like this Mongo Express should only start once this is healthy. To add that thing, we there is one another thing present here, depends on, which is called depends on. So in this we can pass this depends on Mongo. If it is depend on any another service, let's say Redis, then we can pass Redis as well. So assuming Redis is configured below this, we can do this way. And but there is problem with using hyphen here, because if we use hyphen, what happens like this doesn't guarantee that it will start it will be means it will start only after this. So basically with hyphen uh, this starts after this, means the execution will start after this, but it is not guaranteed that uh, it is not guaranteed that it will complete it
after it is being healthy. So to do that thing, we need to pass the another thing related to condition. So depends on which condition is the right way in such scenario where one service is dependent on the health of other service. So we can check, we can add condition like service healthy. Service healthy is the thing here, and we can check, replace restart with maybe on failure restart on failure. Okay, so it will restart on failure of this. Let's run this again. Docker compose. It's down those. Docker compose down. Mhm. Let's run this again. Docker compose up -d. It will take some time because as you can see, there will be 5 retries here, right? But it will ensure that this will start only after this is successful or this is healthy. So that is good point for us, right? We don't need to like regularly refresh. We will know like, and it will also not fail maintenance, right? Yeah. So it is waiting. Let's check what's happening inside that container. So as you can see, this is created but not started, and this is in starting position. And if we check its logs and going to inspect, we can see it is starting. So health is starting. It will like reattempt in 30 seconds and check if it's working or not. Okay. Until that, uh, here the status will be updated. Until that, we will check other concepts. So like from this, the another concept which is remaining is communication between service inside the same network. So as you can see, this Docker compose file creates a default network for us. We can means manually configure, means create a network as well. But with Docker Compose, if there is no network present, it will create a default network. And what is the communication between services inside the same network in Docker Compose means? So basically, like our Mongo Express is communicating with Mongo with the help of this URL, right? So it is expecting MongoDB URL, and we provided root example Mongo. So what this Mongo is? Mongo is the service name. So it will like the Docker Compose or Docker will do its DNS query and will get the port IP for this Mongo. So it is inbuilt in Docker. It gets that IP addresses. So yeah, as you can see, now our service is healthy. So we can move into this and check. Let me refresh this. Right. See, our Mongo UI is started and MongoDB is also started. So it started after that, and inside this we can see it took some time, but at the end it started. Okay, perfect. And let's go into Mongo UI. Earlier we used to get the many errors, but it was waiting for Mongo, and then once it got it, it just started. So that's the perfect part here. Oh, wait. I just close my server. Okay, I close my Chrome local host 8081. We can see going into Docker. Inside there is user collection, and here are the users. Okay, perfect. So we can now, so now the things are fine. Uh, what we can, what is remaining? I guess this is enough to get started with Docker. We can create use the current image inside this as well. So we can have service called app, and here with app we need to like build this because uh, with other things we were passing the image name, but we don't have the image of our local application, right? So we need to build that, and we need to provide the context, that is dot means all the context here will be used here, and the docker file we need to pass the docker file uh, here. So it will be the same docker file we have. You can just add that here, because there is possibility that we can have multiple docker file. We can have docker file for migrations here, so we need to specify which docker file we need to use for this application. Yeah, and same, the environment variable, whatever environment variable we need to pass, like as you can see we need db connection api port, so we can just pass these things, environment, and pass these things here, uh, not equal to this is okay, like this it will be there. So we can pass environment variable, and then we can pass environment variable, we can so basically there is catch, right? We if this app and this Mongo is in same network, then we need to update this. We need to pass Mongo. Okay, we need to pass Mongo, that is service name. And now this depends on, so this is depends on same, we need to copy paste this thing, depends on Mongo, and condition is service healthy. Until this service is not healthy, we should not start our application. Okay, and all the steps to create that image will be present here. That will be from a node, maybe Tinal Pine kind of thing, and then copy command, work dir command. So those things will be there, but I will not go with that. So usually we don't add these things. We usually just add the services, external services we need, may like Mongo Mongo Redis Kafka thing we'll be adding here, and not our application. And we will just run our application using the npm run dev command, and accessing these things using these variables kind of thing. So we can access everything with the local host, and the port we are adding inside Docker Compose at the as prefix. So those things will be accessible here. Okay, thank you. I guess that is enough. Docker Compose is the important thing for local development. And yeah, thank you.